whenever you're ready.
Hi, I'm Duy. Today, I want to inform you guys about technology, things such as cell phones, TV, internet, and computers. For the last couple of decades, technology has played a big role in shaping the way humans live. It has taught humans to be more efficient, and being efficient has taught humans to be more lazy. My claim is that technology has imposed negative effects on humans. It has negatively affected the way people learn. It has led to unhealthy lifestyle, and human has become addicted to technology. Technology negatively affects the way people learn. People in this period of time rely heavily on the use of internet. They are used to the concept of instant gratification and would prefer to believe most things on the internet. They abandon the use of books and research materials in libraries. In such data that offer way more information and way more reliable. Because of technology, people becoming master of multitasking. And being master of multitasking, some found it is difficult to focus on one task. Simple tasks such as reading and studying has become something hard to do. Dr. Rosen at Cal State Dominguez Hill performance studies show that 16 to 18 years old perform 7 tasks on average at one time, like texting the cell phone, sending instant messages, while checking Facebook on television. Not only it affect the way people learn, it has led many people into unhealthy lifestyle. People spend way too much time on computers. Researchers at Gothenburg University recently studied more than 4,100 Swedish men and women between the age of 20 and 24 for a year, and found that majority of them who constantly use computer and mobile phones can develop stress and sleeping disorder. Kids of this generation spend a lot of time watching television. Spending too much time watching television has taken away their outdoor playtime. They are most likely to consume unhealthy snacks while watching their favorite shows. According to Stanford University of Medicine study, kids consume 20% of their daily calorie intake while watching television, which usually include unhealthy snacks, largely due to advertisement and boredom. And these kids are not burning off any of those calories while watching television. Another thing is that texting while driving or walking can cause accidents. Texting while driving is obviously dangerous, and I'm sure most of you are aware of through those commercials on TV. Texting while walking surprisingly has caused many unwanted injuries, and this is true. Because people are so engaged into texting, most of the time they ignore their surroundings. According to Consumer Product Safety Commission, a 16-year-old boy who walked into a telephone pole while texting and suffered concussion, and a 28-year-old man who tripped and fractured a finger on the hand gripping his cell phone. And that's pretty embarrassing, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to do that. That's my last point. I want to say that human has become addicted to technology. Because we live in a global village today, everyone are well connected. People will feel left out if they are not constantly up to date with what their friends are doing. And that is one of the reasons why they're constantly on their phone, checking Facebook or Twitter. Human has used technology as an escape. It is easier to be someone you are not on the internet or in an online game. It is much easier to be as good as Michael Jordan on the game of NBA 2K13 than being as good as Michael Jordan on the game of basketball. And as one of human worst fear, perhaps more than dying, is being alone with their own thoughts and feelings. This is why they are constantly texting on their phone and status updating the Facebook or Twitter. I want to wrap up by saying that technology has taken control over human. It has worked us over completely. If we don't change our habit and our abusive use of technology soon enough, we'll become slaves to technology. Thank you.
Right, Dewey, you identify the topic pretty clearly. Your claim is nicely stated. I do think the term tech, you could try to define it early on, but it still sounds like a very broad definition. As I'm listening to the argument later on, I've got snack foods and texting in the same subsection, and they just seem like they are completely separate from one another. Although there is a deeper root that you're talking about there, I think either one of them probably could have been developed on their own as a particular issue. There's a good layout of what the secondary claims are going to be. I thought that was fine. In the body of the speech, you signpost the first and the third points very clearly. The second point, I think, went by a little quick, and I think one of the reasons is that you start that's where you start listing all of these potential effects, and they just run together, and I'm not sure the stuff that you had at the bottom of the first point seems particularly distinct from the stuff that you have that's at the beginning of the second point. And so I think you need either to kind of get away from this listing of ideas and jumping, like I said, from kids eating snack foods and that's unhealthy to kids running, walking into telephone poles while they're texting at the same time. They just seem like they're divergent issues that are going on there. You're dependent on hypothetical examples. You have a couple of good examples, not personal examples, but a couple of good real examples about the distraction issue. It seems to me like that information about distraction should have been tied into the multitasking material that you had on the first point, because I didn't really hear a lot of stuff that talked about why it's problematic that there's multitasking. You had information that says kids are often multitasking. Okay, why is that a bad thing? What's the consequence of that? How does that hurt anybody in any way, shape, or form? The distraction seems to be the only thing that's directly connected to that, and it's in a different subpoint, so I'm having to put it together instead of your putting it together. I thought you did an okay job providing us with a little bit of information, but you need a lot more information. There's a lot of suggestions about the impact this is going to have on society or the way we see ourselves, and the language that you use at the end is nice and poetic, but I'm not sure that it matches up to anything that is substantive. There were just a lot of things here that are hypothetical in nature and suggest that there's some harm without, there's a presupposition that the harm exists without proving it, and I think that's problematic. All right.